Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing? This Facebook Live will last about 30 minutes, and we're going to talk about Heartfulness Leadership. As a special guest today, we have David Elron. He's originally from Israel and currently living in Antigua, in Guatemala, and works in well being. My name is Ana Stephanie Munoz. I am a Guatemalan entrepreneur, transformational and stress management coach, and I provide tools to successful people to find happiness. If the sound is okay, please give me thumbs up below.
Mhm.
I have taken into account all the recommendations you have given me regarding sound, regarding light, regarding everything. So we continue to improve. So let me know if you have any more improvements to go. And something I want to ask you, very special favor right now, is if you have any other issues related to stress management that you would love to have on this program, please write as well below so I can take that into account and invite experts in the topic for our next Facebook Live in the coming weeks and months. So thank you very much, David. Welcome here. And
Hello.
I'm happy to have you here. And I want to talk about him. He's originally, as I was saying, from Israel and currently lives in Antigua. He's a teacher of well being, life and business coach, motivational public speaker, and heartfulness leader who assists his clients in healing and creating a sustainable balance in their life, business, and relationships. David worked in New York City when he realized his life was disjointed and unbalanced, eventually leading him to a profound personal journey which continues today. So, David currently works with clients worldwide and regularly leads workshops for individuals, groups, and corporations. He helps people to become thriving, upstanding, heartfulness leaders in their lives, businesses, communities, and personal relationships. So, David, it's an honor to have you here today. Would you like to share something else about yourself with the audience?
Uh, First of all, I'm really happy to be here tonight as well and to share whatever I have to share with whoever is listening to us tonight and whoever is going to listen to it later on. What can I share about myself? I just love life and I'm happy to share my life and passion to life with others. I've dedicated the last 20 years of my life to study people to help others transform their life. While I do, but sorry, I'm tapping myself and probably taps on the microphone as well. While I do it myself as well, and it's been a passion and a pleasure of mine to work with people and help them come back to themselves, to their body, to their heart, so they can lead life from their heart
Yeah,
and live again in their body, and that we can together create this planet and this world to be a better place for all of us.
yeah, yeah. No,
Y-
definitely. It makes all the
mhm.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can talk from experience. I've been a former client of David, and he's amazing. The process I had with him was great, and it helped me a lot in that awkward phase I was in back then. It was some years ago, like I don't know, 6 years ago, probably 6, 5.
Something like that. I don't remember exactly.
But it was amazing. So yeah, definitely amazing, amazing process. So thanks, David.
Sure.
So um, while we continue, we're going to start with some questions. And if you have any questions to David regarding what he's talking about, please write it down on the comment. So I've been looking at the comments and I haven't seen, I've seen some people thumbs up. If somebody else can comment, please, so I can see how many people are currently in. I see some already. So we're going to start with the first question. So,
Okay.
David, can you tell us what heartfulness leadership means?
Well, heartfulness leadership is all about the human aspect of leadership.
Hmm.
In reality, when we talk about leadership, it's about leading human beings. You don't lead an organization. In order to be a leader and in order to lead, you need to lead people. So it's really about bringing the human aspect and understanding the importance of human and your team and the people in your life for your leadership. It first and foremost begins with yourself. And, if the first person you need to lead in your life is you. And I say that heartfulness leadership is sort of like embodying the art with ART of authentic leadership, because leaders need, I'm gonna say need, but like the best leaders are, it's not need, but the best leaders are authentic. They be themselves. They lead from here, from their heart, from their true self, and by that they inspire others. And it
Excellent.
and there's also another aspect that's like, for me is really important in leadership, because I think the role of a leader, whether it's in an organization or in the family, in any place, is to create an environment where people are inspired. And the
Mm-hmm.
best way to do that, I said that the role of a leader is to care and take care of the
Mm-hmm.
people in her or his care.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes everybody. And leaders are not necessarily just because you have a title that you are the CEO or the head of a department, you're a leader. Anybody is a leader. Some actually who have the title and have the position of leadership are not leaders, they're just executives.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's about inviting leaders and entrepreneurs to come back to themselves, to take personal responsibility, to understand that leadership begins with them and it can be shared. And it's about inspiring and motivating people, not about like, standing there with the whip and threatening and fighting people, which is very much the old model of leadership that doesn't
Okay.
work anymore. And it's
No.
about personal relationship,
Mm-hmm.
really realizing that the people that you work with, they matter. First and foremost as human beings, not as necessarily as employees, but human beings. And you can't bullshit that. You can
No.
pretend that you care. People feel if it's authentic or not.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's in more than a few words.
Very good. No, I think it's very clear. It's very clear. Anyhow, I want to ask the audience if it's clear for you guys and if you feel you are inspiring people around you. As David was saying, it's not just being a leader because you have a title, it's first being a leader with yourself, to lead yourself as a better human being. Then you can be a leader in your relationship, in your family, in your job, in whatever activity you do. So
Mm.
you please could share with us if you feel you are inspiring people right now, or maybe not. It's not bad. I mean, I think we all go through phases when we feel more empowered, and some phases that we're more like we don't know what we want or where we are, and it's okay. It's a phase that we all have go through, I believe. Um, and that leads me, yes, yes.
I think that, like, just being yourself, being authentically really yourself,
Mm-hmm.
inspires people, because
Yeah, that's
we
true.
all have, we are all wired. We have like this detector within us that senses whether people are being honest and truthful and just being themselves or not. And
Mm-hmm.
with just more and more be yourself and embody the truth that you are. As I'm speaking right now, though people are not here in my presence, we're doing it in video, but what we are all doing, whether we know it or not, they are all like sort of checking me out. Is this guy, is there a correlation between who he presents himself to be, what he speaks about, and who he be? Is it
Mm.
real?
Yeah,
And we definitely do it more when we meet with others in person, but it's in
definitely.
the tonality of my voice, it's in my facial, it's in how I move. So people know and
Yeah,
they believe my body language and my facial expression and everything much more than they believe my words. And if
exactly.
there's no correlation, they say, hey, they, write me off and say he's not real, he's just pretending. So
Exactly.
if we just be who we are and we express who we are, and as you said, you came to me in a period where you're not feeling, not the highest point of your life. We all
Exactly.
pass through that.
We all go through those phases. It's a
And and
cycle.
and and it's so much in our culture
Yeah,
not to show up in those places, to hide, to pretend, to say
exactly.
I'm okay. But
Exactly.
leaders, some of the most inspiring leaders that I had showed up the vulnerability. Said, I don't
Exactly.
know, but maybe you can, as an employee, as my subordinate, can show me the way.
Definitely. Yeah. And that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, but that's real leadership, coming humbly and saying, I know we can do it as a team. I
as
know
a
we can
team.
do it, but I don't know right now how.
Hmm. Or I know where we need
Yeah.
to go, but I don't know how we're going to get there, because that's another, like, very
Yeah.
common thing that you talk with leaders, and that happens. That sometimes you have the vision where your end point, your point B,
Hmm.
you know the way to get there, and that's something
Yeah.
you discover together with the team.
You discover the
Yeah.
team, you explore, you fail on the
Mhm.
way, you do whatever is needed, but you show up every day as who you are and where you are, leading. I have had experience for myself where
Mhm.
I was feeling broken and shattered per se in my life in what was going on, but I could still show up in with my team and lead them to where we needed to go.
Mhm.
Sometimes as a leader, your role, even though you're in a position of leadership, you know, you
Mhm.
give the reins to somebody else in your team and say, hey, I need your support right now, lead us.
Exactly. Exactly. No, and it takes, as we were saying, courage. It takes humbleness. It takes um,
Mm.
authenticity, and I think that leads to my next question. And you already are talking about it. And actually, the question is, how important is it to align to your true self, your essence? How important is it, like, to be aligned, like, with what you think, what you say, what you do? How important is it to be a heartfulness leader?
I think it's super important. Being a good leader is being a good human being. You can't separate one on the other, you
No,
know?
I believe I
If
completely agree with you.
if it's begin by being a good human being.
Yeah.
And as I said before, it's you know, if you just people realize people if you say one thing and you do another thing,
Hmm.
people start talking behind the back. You have to stand behind your word. We say sometimes that, like, words are cheap. Words are not cheap, but sometimes we as humans we cheapen the words because we say things and we don't act them. We don't embody them. Okay? And 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 in order to build trust, in order to create an environment where people trust each other, it's begin with you. People don't. We are surprised why trust is losing in our environment because we are also enwrapped in our little world, and we say those little lies. Definitely in our time and era when we have all this, Facebook, Instagram, and everybody is smiling, and showing the glamorous life. But and then they come here to work with me in my therapy room here when I work one on one, and realize that this is all what they put, fake, out there. And I
Exactly.
want to invite leaders to come and say, hey, and especially I'm having a bad day. Not talk about it in the past, but today I'm challenged. Today I'm feeling afraid. And that's
Hmm.
okay. I'm
That's
feeling
true.
afraid, but I'm still showing up because how do we lose trust? I'll give an example, okay? So here, you come and you meet me today, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, and even on the
Hmm.
video, or let's say we meet in person, and I'm sitting all like that, and I'm saying, hey, he asked me how you doing. I'm saying, oh, I'm great. I'm having the best day in my life. I'm so excited today, you know, and all my body is like that, closed and shut down,
And your face is like,
and my face
mm,
is long and down, and I'm telling you, yeah, this is the best, and my tone is like the best day of my life. Like I'm so excited right now, It's such a beautiful day. and and I'm looking down as you can see, and then
hmm,
and then you're gonna tell me, yeah, David, I hear you. Definitely, I hear you. I get you, man. Now you are reading my body and knowing that I'm not feeling great, right?
hmm.
And
Exactly,
then you
completely.
pretend with me like you believe me, though you know I'm lying.
Hmm.
And I know that you know how I feel because I also notice when I look at you, I read your body. We all do it. So we know that we lie to each other on those little things, and then
Mm,
we're surprised later on why we don't trust each other. It begins with those little things. So
exactly.
you don't need to come and tell me, hey David, I can see your body. You totally don't look like you're happy today. You say, hey David, I
Hmm.
hear you, but like, what's going on?
Hmm.
And that's caring. That's not
Yeah.
buying that's not buying my social readiness. like pretending like I'm okay. And leaders in organization or in their life, that's what they do. That's what we do. You come to a person and you put a hand on the shoulder, say, hey, what's going on today?
Exactly. And
What's
it
going
has
on for
nothing,
you as a human?
yeah, and it has nothing to do with gossip, because that's another thing. Sometimes you and you really, you truly leaving yourself, people can feel that it's not, I want to know what's going on with you to tell the others. It's, I really care of what is happening to you right now.
Yeah, and when I work with people, and definitely when I work, there's a few branches of the work that I do, but the work that I do specifically with leadership, when I work
Hmm.
with organization, you can teach people to care, but
Hmm.
we all care actually. It's
We all do.
it's ingrained within our DNA to care. And I'm not going to talk about going to the science because science also shows it because we feel each other, we read each other. But when I go and work with people, and you sit with them one on one and you really I care. I tell you, I personally, my super unique power, I love and care for people and they know it, they feel it. And you sit
Yeah.
with people and you bring a group, whether it's a group of executive or a group who were in a workshop with me just last week, and you sit
Hmm.
there and you genuinely care and they can feel it, they start opening up. And
That's
it's
true.
and it's infectious. Then they feel, oh, somebody cares for me, and I feel
Mhm.
good. Maybe I will show my care to others. And that's how we change organizations. That's how we change community. That's how we change the world because we
Exactly.
start by caring. Our paradigm is so built on if I show care, somebody needs to show care back to me. It's always give and take. No, I care because I care. Nobody owes me anything because I care. Nobody
Yeah.
owes me anything because I love.
Hmm.
It's all for free.
It's all free.
And I think that's real leadership that you just do and you be who you are. And at the end of the day, when you look back, say, whoa, I did my best today. Now, I don't want to tell a story and say, hey, I have my fears, I have my issues. I don't show up fully 24/7, I get scared at moment. I react
No.
instead of respond, and it's okay. But like leader can stand for their mistakes, stands for, I have a men group that I'm leading here in Antigua.
Hmm.
And last night we had uh, we had our bi-weekly gathering,
Hmm.
and you know we're talking about the theme for last night was radical honesty. But
Hmm.
we finished the evening. The first part of the evening is that we each check in and we say what's going on for ourselves in our life, physically,
Hmm.
emotionally, spiritually. It's a really safe place where men can meet and really talk honestly about what's going on with them. And then as we
That's
finish that, asked if somebody has something to add. And one of the men started like talking about something that didn't feel right. He completely went, for me, off. Not right, let me explain. But leading us instead of intimacy into something very general, how this one can connect with this one and we can do business and things like that. He didn't feel right because it was pulling us away from the intimacy that was created into a more, how we do business here together. And that's not the reason why we come together. So I asked him to stop and because it didn't feel right.
hmm.
But I must admit, the way I did it was like I cut him off. And I know that he felt, we actually talked about it in the
Hmm.
circle later on, he felt like, whoa, he's shutting me up, he's dominating me. And I felt
Hmm.
also that I did. So I
Hmm.
apologized a couple of minutes later because I didn't want, because I made a mistake. I wasn't conscious as
Exactly.
a leader. But it's
Hmm.
okay to take a step back and to say, hey, I'm sorry that I barred you like that. It wasn't okay of me. That's not how I want to be, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and that
And
you realize it at the moment. Sometimes you don't realize it at the moment, but later on, but
I
still
think,
accept the fact that you did a mistake and it's okay.
and I think most of us, like, and that's again something that I that I like, teach leaders, because leaders need to be like sort of definitely. I'm talking mostly leadership in organization or in groups or in community. Our job is to be practical, practical psychologists.
Yeah.
Because I immediately, and I know that I'm very practiced at doing it, but if we look at a person and you're sitting there, we sit in a circle and I see him and I see how his body reacted and how he's shutting down, I knew I offended him, okay? And that wasn't obviously my intention. Now,
Hmm.
if leaders look at those little nuances and realize what they do, because another thing that, like in our paradigm of leadership, definitely in corporate world, in organization, we believe we come here to do business and live your personal life. And I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just being honest, and it's you just need to deal with it.
Hmm.
It's not true. You're a
No.
leader here, and I know that there's an adult sitting in front of you. But when you just tell to somebody, and I've been sometimes in meetings like that,
Hmm.
and where a CEO will sit there with his board and will tell him, hey, somebody will express his opinion, say, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very
And then
harsh and it's horrible.
and then they tell me, no, that's how we do. We just don't want to waste time. We are cool with that.
No, and completely disrespectful.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
but so that's really the extreme. But even other ways, don't call me shit, but like, shh, it's okay. It's okay. It's being
Yep,
disrespectful.
exactly. No, and
So
it happens a lot. It happens a lot. It still happens a lot.
yeah, yeah, I know. I've spent a lot of time in corporate world. I still work with organization, corporation, and they invite me into meetings so I can see those things and help them, you know, reprimand themselves in little ways. And I'm telling you, the world is ready for this change, and more leaders and organization and employees are not willing to accept it. And
No,
leaders that are not going to you know, join the wagon and take personal responsibility of who they be and how they be, and bring their heart back into leadership, bring caring and responsibility to leadership, they will not last. And all the studies also shows that, like, environment when people feel respected, cared for, loved, community, all the measurement of leader, increase incrementally. Now I can continue to talk to you, but maybe somebody has a question.
yeah, please. I was going to ask you something, guys, and it's, do you believe that you're living your true self right now? Or that you're searching for that true self? Like, we I've noticed we tend to use like many masks, like the mom mask, the wife mask, the boss mask, the employee mask, and at the end it's like so confusing. So who can say it's living from their true self? I, for one, I can tell you, I'm working on it. I'm working on with what I think, what I say, and what I do. Because sometimes like David was saying, the body language it speaks for itself. 93% of our communication is body language, and normally it's not congruent with what you're thinking. So yeah, it's a work in progress for me. That I can tell you guys.
Yeah, I can say for myself, as I said,
So can
I'm
you?
I'm constantly working to make myself a better version of who I am and learning all the time. I make more mistakes at time than I'm willing to admit to myself and to others. But a great tool is to sit and reflect on that and be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself and what about how you feel, and
Mhm.
and look at it and commit to continue looking at it and do better. And sometimes ask for those around you for actually honest, you know,
Honest feedback.
criticism, honest feedback, really,
Hmm.
really honest feedback. Find the people in your
Hmm.
life, whether it's in your work environment, whether it's in your intimate relationship, whether it's with your friend, to have those places where you receive real feedback. And there's way to do it. It can be mutual, but it needs to be In a lot of organization we have feedback. We in organization people have feedback once every twice a year or every quarter in the good cases, or once a year actually. But
Exactly. If
think yourself,
mhm,
you're a mother. It's like you would go and sit with your kid, once a year, and let me tell you, what I think about you. It's a relationship. It should happen
of course,
on a much more like,
basis, at least weekly basis, that
yeah.
you give feedback. Hmm. And you
There's a
you ask
simple,
as well, because sometimes people tend to, no, if my boss or my partner is not giving me feedback, then everything is okay. But sometimes you want to know like how you're doing on a personal level, on a professional level, so you also need to ask, not to wait for people to come to you and read your mind.
yeah. So that's in the business one, but actually also in life. So as I said, we are leaders in every aspect of life. We all, as a mother, you lead your kids, and I hope you're leading them better than social media and the internet nowadays. As in a relationship, we are co-leading something, you for yourself, and it's another area that it's important. I work with couples sometimes, and like I see how they don't communicate. Sit with
Mm-hmm.
your partner more often than every other week, and hey, let's check in. What's going on with you? And I don't mean we check in on a regular basis during the day, but there's something that's really powerful about scheduling it and giving it an importance, as opposed to just something that happened as we passed each other in the house, or we just casual. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when we said, hey, let's Friday afternoon or Saturday evening, let's just, the two of us, it's not date night, it's like sitting and checking in with each other and saying what's going on with us and what have happened this week between us that's disturbing me and disturbing you, and what we can learn from it. We give that an
Exactly.
importance when we schedule it. It's not casual. It's a time that is
Exactly.
It is something to schedule so we can better our relationship. We can better how we lead together this relationship. So this is an intimate relationship,
Definitely.
but it's valid also in the office space.
Mhm. Perfect. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. We have a question
Yeah.
from Ramiro Ponce. So, Ramiro, it's great having you here. And what he's asking, if you could talk more about caring.
Well, caring. From my experience, we care for each other. It's sort of in our DNA. It's sort of like in our biology to care to the people around us. And when somebody is sad around us, when somebody is happy around us, emotions are sort of infectious. We feel them. We have the
Mhm.
possibility to sense. And when you see somebody in trouble in the street, we all grow good to like not look at it. But caring is something that like, it's natural within us, but we have learned to numb it down because it became unpopular in our culture. You know, we are becoming more and more of a masculine culture because that's the energy that's dominates, especially in business. We do business, we are, and then women become less caring. But it's
Mhm.
time to bring this feminine energy that says, hey, stop for a second, take a breath. What's going on with you? Our culture, I have the device here. We used to care more because we, instead of like, now we go to a meeting and instead of I'm entering a meeting and I have this. So
Yeah.
usually we have a meeting at 10 in the morning, 25 years ago, I would sit there a few minutes before and you would be there. And I
Hmm.
would say, hey, Stephanie, how are you doing? And what's happening with your husband? And I hear that. And that's showing caring. It's those little personal questions. Now I do it because I really care. I'm inviting people to start doing it, and even if they don't, even if they don't know how to do it, but when you start doing it, it's sort of
Then it
like
becomes natural.
it becomes natural, and you realize that the people
Mhm.
around you respond to it, and it creates relationship
Mhm.
all of a sudden, and it creates a
Definitely.
space where like, whoa, my boss, you know, really cares about me because
Hmm.
he he remembered, that my wife was pregnant, and he asked what's going on.
Hmm.
Remember that I said that my kid was I didn't come to work yesterday because my kid was sick. So when I come today, come and ask how's your kid, and it's little things that because we have been so domesticated to put all of that aside, and when we come to the office, we just talk business, that we forgot that there's a person there. And I cannot tell a mom to come to the office and forget that she has a sick boy in back home.
No, not at
And if I,
all. Personal issue. Hmm.
yeah, but like the old paradigm was like, we don't care, come and work, leave
Yeah.
home at home.
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
Exactly. No.
So
No.
based on the
It's.
paradigm, we forgot that we actually care.
Mhm. Exactly. So, David, I have some very bad news.
Yeah, I see.
we are Our time is up, and I
Okay.
think the conversation been amazing and all the tips you have given us. I summarized two tips: reflect on your actions and who you are, and ask for feedback to people are close to you. Check in with people and schedule it so like where you're standing and what can you improve and how you can live much better. You're welcome, Ramiro. He's saying thanks a lot for the answer you gave.
Hmm. And one last thing, it's like if I can take another moment.
So, something else. Yeah.
It's like, our body. We all have a unique, incredible mechanism that's called the human body. It feels in senses. Feelings don't happen in your mind, in your head. Feelings happen here in your body. And there's a
Hmm.
sensation that happen. Breath, conscious breath brings us more to our body. There are
Hmm.
tools that brings us more to feel what's really going on. That's like a
Okay,
huge gift that I invite all of the people that I work, and that's why I call part of the work that I do embodying. It's coming back to the body and using the wisdom that's there to start lead from that and not negate. If you feel tense, ask yourself why. Take a breath, move your body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beat with the tense because something is tensing you up.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Exactly.
honest with your emotions. But I'll finish here because I can talk for another hour and a half, maybe two.
I know, me
So,
too. But I want to thank you. It really has been a pleasure and an honor having you here. And for all of you who want to contact David or want to know more about David, I will be leaving his website here. You can find him under David Elron in Instagram and Facebook. And I want to thank the audience for the participation. Remember that this recording is open to the public, so you can share it with the people you think you can benefit from it. And if you weren't able to watch the whole episode, then you can watch the replays. It's going to be there on my profile, open to the public. And I just want to ask you for two little things, and we're done. First is, what's the biggest challenge you have right now related to stress? If you can put it on the comments below. And what issues related to stress would you like us to have in the coming Facebook Lives? So with that, I'm saying good night to everybody. Thanks, Angel, for being here as well. I know, Ike, it was a very fast talk. Next time, I hope. Well, I'm not doing them that long, an hour, but if more people are asking to do longer Facebook lives, I will happy to do them. Yeah, half an hour. I think it's too short, but still, we cover a lot in that half hour. Very interesting stuff. Thanks, Aroldo, for being there as well and participating. And remember, put all your questions. If you have questions for me and David, we will be answering in the future. If you share it or watch it later on and have more things to say, please comment below. We'll be happy to respond. So thank you guys. Have a great night, and I hope to have you in our next Facebook Live. Live. Hello.
Hello.